Hey YouTube, it's your girl Chic from Chic Speaks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we are going to get into it. Listen, I want to talk about why girls love bad boys. This has been a thing since I can remember. I mean, I think many of us, all of us, have probably heard a discussion surrounding why girls love bad boys, why the good guy doesn't get the girl, what they say, good guys finish last. Many of us ladies can contest to we've had our share of bad boys. Whether or not we have a logical explanation as to the why, I don't know, but I know I've had my short stint of experience with, let's just say, a bad boy. Because listen, early on, I was like, I am not about this life. I'm not about this life. So I was one of probably a small percentage of young ladies who realized early on that going the route of, entertaining the bad boy just wasn't what you want to do. But there are some things that comes along, with dating the bad boy that doesn't come along when you're dating the quote unquote good guy. Or today, I think that good guy has been renamed as, I guess, a simp. I don't know, y'all. Y'all need to kind of help me understand the difference between a simp and a good guy. Because right now, Russell Wilson out here, Sierra's husband, they just tagged him as, look, he just a simp, not good guy, a simp. So I need an understanding as to understanding really the difference. But I know for me, I know the difference. I can distinguish the difference between, say, the good guy and the bad boy. I would say, I'm married to a good guy, but I have dated a bad boy, and it's just like night and day with my experience. And that's why I am an advocate. Get you a good boy, ladies. Save yourself the heartache and all the drama, because you might, have some little excitement in the beginning, but how long is that gonna last? Does excitement pay the bills? Does excitement keep you STD free? Does the excitement make you not be a baby mama? Like all of that, we have to weigh it out and look beyond just the moment, because I feel like, entertaining the bad boys is more so about the moment versus the longevity. Because what I see, longevity, there's heartache that comes out of it in the long haul. So I want to share this TikTok video that I came across with a young lady speaking on her reasons as to why, she, I guess likes a bad boy, or feel like ladies are attracted to bad boys. So I want to have a discussion about it because, she had some things to say that I'm like, okay, I see what you're saying. So let's get into this video, and then we kind of go pick back up on, what's this had to say. So let's get into it. Thank you for joining. Also, please like, share, subscribe as you come in. Let's get into it, y'all.
I did a video on why good guys are boring. I think it's only fair I do a video on why girls love bad boys. It's the charm. Bad boys are very charming, extremely charming, and they know women inside and out. Like, it's always the bad guys that be knowing exactly how to talk to you and exactly how to move with you. And bad boys honestly give you a challenge. Like, as much as people want to say, oh, it's toxic and this and that, like, there's a certain level where, like, I feel like your partner should be able to challenge you. And I must admit, like, who doesn't love a good chase? Like, I think healthy chase is not so terrible. I don't think you should give everything all at once. That's what makes the relationship boring, when you dump everything all at the beginning. But I also have to admit, it's ego. I think the more someone shows you that they don't want you, the more you want them. That goes for men and women. I don't know, there's just something about bad boys. It's like they know how to show you the right amount of what you need, but they're just damn right players. They're no good. I did a video on why good guys are boring. I think it's only fair I do a video on why girls love bad boys. It's the charm. Bad boys are very charming, extremely charming, and they know women inside and out. Like, it's always the bad guys that be knowing exactly how to talk to you and exactly how to move with you. And bad boys honestly give you a challenge. Like, as much as people want to say, oh, it's toxic and this and that, like, there's a certain level where, like, I feel like your partner should be able to challenge you. And I must admit, like, who doesn't love a good chase? Like, I think healthy chase is not so terrible. I don't think you should give everything all at once. That's what makes the relationship boring, when you dump everything all at the beginning. But I also have to admit, it's ego. I think the more someone shows you that they don't want you, the more you want them. That goes for men and women. I don't know. There's just something about bad boys. It's like they know how to show you the right amount of what you need, but they're just damn right players. They're no good. I didn't.
So listen. Hey, Cosmo Energy, welcome. Hey, girl. I want to talk about it, because I mean, many of us can contest it. It's something about that bad boy energy, and it keeps us open, and we know it don't do us no good. Mama didn't told you, because Lord knows my mama was like, sis, that ain't what you want. And I'm like, yes, it is, but it is what I want. So, and then, down the line, it's just like, mama was right, and some of us get it early enough to not find ourselves in a situation that can be a permanent situation, such as, permanent. I say, you having children by this person, or you, having just this toxic, ongoing, abusive type situation, like all of that, where it's just a long-term type thing where you just can't kind of jump in and jump out. And fortunately, my little short extent, as a young teenager, high school girl, like, listen, I was the good girl. Like, yes, like this bad boy, he from New York, he checking for your girl from Cali. Let's get it. And, as the lady, in the TikTok, she talked about the excitement of it all. And that's what it was. It was just exciting. Like, yo, this boy did everything that I didn't do. Like, even though he was running around doing the absolute most, I still wasn't engaging in those things. But though I still felt like that was the one, and it, after experiencing that for a good solid year, maybe a year and some change, I'm like, you know what? I can't do this no more. Listen, y'all listen. You got to send me somebody else, because this right here, this ain't it. So I'm happy to know that I was just somebody early on who was mature enough to pick up, like, yo, it might be exciting, in the beginning, but, it's time to think about the future. So I was kind of like a forward thinker. So I'm like, yo, I'm about to graduate high school. I need me a man that's gonna have that job. I want a house, children. You cute and all. I feel like we can make some beautiful babies, but how we finna feed these babies? Like, y'all, I was that chick thinking like that. So because of that, I'm like, nah, dog, you ain't it. You not it. And then probably within a year or two, I met my husband. If any of you are new to my channel, I've been married since I was like 23. So I've been married almost 18 years, y'all. October 1st will be 18 years your girl has been married. But the person I married was somebody polar opposite. Because remember, I talked about stability. Like, oftentimes these bad boys out the gate, are we looking at stability? Are we seeing stability with them? Nah, most of the time you already seeing kind of early on that they got multiple girls after them. They chasing behind multiple girls chasing behind them. And at this point, you all open and stuff, and you trying to be that one that can lock him down, like that you got something that the next don't have. And y'all, it don't work out. It doesn't work out. And I think that's what's happening today, where a lot of the girls, it's like they're trying to be that one that's going to change him. Like, yo, I'm going to change him. Like, I felt like with Ciara when she entertained Future, like low key, I felt like she felt like, okay, I can change him. I'm Cece, I'm that girl, I'm going to change him. I'm going to make him be, that solid man for me, watch and see. And it didn't work out that way. So I think sometimes in our minds, we can have a mindset of change, because I can say, I had a mindset where, okay, I'm going to change him. And coming off of that experience, I never did that again. Went into something with a mindset of, okay, I'm going to change a person, because it doesn't work out. People are who they are. So it's either you here for who they are with the version of who they're presenting to you, or you're not. But the idea of getting with them and then having this idea of, okay, well, I'm just going to change them. That's not fair. because I feel like if that person isn't who you need them to be when they're stepping to you, then you need to go ahead and move on to the next. What they say, swipe right, swipe left, you do it, whatever swipe you need to do, but that's not the one, because I never see it really work out where a person goes into something with the intent on changing someone to make them something else and it works out. Like, I don't see it work. Like, you let me know if you see it work, but I don't ever see it work. So my thing is like, listen, don't even bother to do that. Ladies, if you running across a man and he's not giving what you need him to be given as far as being responsible, loyal, faithful, STD free, like all of that, move on. Move on. Cosmo Energy said Bad Boys is a no-go, time to grow up. Yes. But it seems like you see women, I'm seeing women even well into 30s, 40s still chasing after the bad boys, chasing. And it's just like, at what point are we like done with this? Do we accept that, this ain't it? This is not it. Like, we got real life responsibilities. I don't get it. I don't get it, but it's so often like we see it. And then next thing you know, that woman out here looking crazy in the streets, look embarrassed. Y'all remember that short little stint that the reality TV star Nene Leakes had when she was kind of messing with this young guy? Excuse me. So I'm here in Atlanta. Nene, I don't know where she lives now, but she was living here in Atlanta still at the time. So this was like after her husband had passed, before we started hearing all this stuff about her and this married African guy. But there was this young guy who was kind of running around. I think Tasha K, the YouTuber Tasha K, interviewed him. And, she was running around with him. Next thing you know, she all on Tasha K spilling the tea. Like, so to me, it has her looking crazy, because here it is. You a grown-ass woman. You done wasted your time with this child who now willing to talk and open and interview any and everybody who will listen, because he quote unquote smash Nene Leakes. Like, I don't know if it's true or not, it's alleged, but my thing is, we have to move smart, as we get older, wisdom, like at that point, we have to start moving differently, learning from our mistakes, not doing the things that we was doing in our 20s. How about that? Like, at this point, we on some grown woman-ish. We can't be moving like that. We can't be entertaining men who are just going to be out here kissing and telling. Like, you can't do that. Like, we have to be more selective. Damn that excitement. Because you know what's happening? These same young ladies who hear and want all this excitement, these are the ones that are turning into baby mamas. And they're having 2, 3, 4 kids, 2, 3, multiple fathers in the pictures. And then by the time they get in their 30s, they are having this epiphany, and it's just like, I want a good man now. And then I'm the table, and we a package deal. So I need for him to accept me and my child or my children, as well as I need for him to handle all these bills, run little Ray to practice, take Brianna to her cheerleading. Like, I need for him to do all of that, because I'm a grown woman and I need me a real man, and it's just like what they say, a day late and a dollar short, to where I think a lot of times women, we're having this epiphany, I call it, where this light bulb moment, where it's like so late in the game to where we've made these decisions that we can't undo. We're just have to live with. But though we got a whole problem with somebody not trying to come along to sign up for that. Like, well, why? I mean, what's the big deal? Why y'all can't date single mamas? Like, there's a whole thing. There's conversations out there about whether or not men should date moms or single moms. Like, that's a real deal, because here's the thing. And as I told a friend of mine who became a baby mom, I'm like, yo, as you're dating, this man has to have a mindset of, okay, can I support her as well as her child? Like, also, what kind of energy does her child's father give? Are we going to have some drama? Because they no longer can think about just you. It's now a child, and they know that child was created with somebody. So they got to factor in little Ray Sr. to see what kind of mindset he got, and if it's worth him even getting caught up with you, because you might got some stuff going on with your baby daddy. And who knows, a lot of times, women still smashing the baby daddy. Y'all know how that go. So then you running a risk of that. So it's just like, it's a lot to think about. So I'm not mad. I had a briefly, I guess half my life, a stepfather, somebody who came along and, helped my mom raise at that time, 3 kids. He didn't have kids at the time. So I know the importance of a stepfather, but at the same time, I'm also not mad at a man who says, you know what, I'd rather not sign up for that. Because to me, I have more respect for that man saying, you know what, that's just a lot. I can't sign up for that. I'd have more respect for a man saying that versus him coming along and then trying to mistreat your child or say, can you find a sitter for your child? I don't want your child to be a part of this. Like, y'all know, that energy where that person may be giving off that they're not here for your child. They're just here for you. So my thing is, I think a man should just be upfront, be like, no, this is not going to work because I'm not here for your child, versus kind of still trying to be here for that woman, but show in these ways, some subtle and not so subtle, that he's not here for your baby. And I do feel like as a woman, if you do have children, you are a package deal and you should look at it that way. So therefore, you should date men who are here for you and your child, knowing the situation. So there's going to be, what they say, there's somebody out there for everybody, so there's going to be somebody out there. But that's just like one video that I show. But there was another, I want to show another one to you because this is a male perspective. And he's like, Cosmo Andrew say, that's right. Listen, sis, listen. I want to share a perspective from a man. And so y'all can hear kind of what he has to say when it comes to, I guess, women, and the whole bad boy thing. So let's get into it.
Why women are obsessed with bad boys. This is very simple, guys. Bad boys are selfish. You didn't realize? Bad boys are the most selfish beings on this planet, right? Because bad boys put themselves first. It's what he wants, when he wants it, and that's why women are so drawn to them. That tells the woman indirectly he has options. That tells her he's a man that other women want because he's not trying to pedestalize her. Nice guys are trying to break their backs for women. You're trying to do everything in the world to prove yourself to her. He couldn't care less. My way or the highway, and she loves that. Why women are obsessed with bad boys. This is very simple, guys. Bad boys are selfish. You didn't realize? Bad boys are the most selfish beings on this planet, right? Because bad boys put themselves first. It's what he wants, when he wants it, and that's why women are so drawn to them. That tells the woman indirectly he has options. That tells her he's a man that other women want because he's not trying to pedestalize her. Nice guys are trying to break their backs for women. You're trying to do everything in the world to prove yourself to her. He couldn't care less. My way or the highway, and she loves that.
Listen, he spoke a whole word. I mean, I agree with all of that because to me, I feel like a person typically that knows that they have options move differently. They move in a way that shows that they know they have options. And that even goes for a woman. Like a woman, I feel like a woman that knows that she has options is less likely to entertain certain things, So it goes back to the mindset also where what they say, we want what we can't have. And as this man, he talked about if he kind of had this attitude and things like that, he knows that there are other women who are lined up, to date him. So it's like that woman, her mindset is like, okay, well, I'm in competition mode with other women. I got to make sure that, I have my game, I'm on top of my game because, he can go and, try to be with somebody else. And I think that makes a lot of sense because, women, that they have options. So it's almost like you're out here trying to do the most to try to show him you're the one, when actuality, it really should be the other way around, that person trying to make sure, that they trying to appreciate you too, versus kind of acting in a way as though they the ish. and that they can run all over you because, you know, you just a number. Like, I think it all comes down to like a self-esteem thing. You know, we have to have some type of self-esteem about ourselves to know that, okay, if somebody's not here treating us right, and for whatever reason that is, we have the choice to choose of whether or not we want to entertain that or not. And I think us as women, a lot of times our choice is to still stay in entertainment. And while we stay in entertainment, we come up with these reasons as to why things aren't working. You know, we will put them on, we'll come up with these reasons. A lot of times these reasons are things that have actually absolutely nothing to do with us, as far as with the value we have on ourselves, us feeling worthy, the respect. We just want to kind of strictly kind of focus on them. Like, oh, okay, well, we having these problems because he won't leave these girls, these hoes out there. They thirsty. They this. He need to leave them alone. It's like we want to kind of keep shifting the blame, you know, and put it in, what do they call it? Misplaced blame. And instead of taking ownership of things or acknowledging what the real deal is. Okay, sis, the truth is he's trash. You chose him and you're choosing to stay. Oh, and you've made the decision that you want to have a baby with him. Like all of that, this goes back to you. You're always going to run into trash people, whether it's man or woman, but we all have the decision as to whether or not we want to stick around and entertain it. Just because somebody approach you and tell you you cute, 9 times out of 10, that ain't the first time you heard that. So don't act like or treat it like, okay, that's the first and only time somebody finna tell you that, and go ahead and go with the flow with whatever they have to follow after that. We got to be smart with this, you know you cute, entertain somebody who's got some substance, who's speaking some things to you, maybe some things you ain't never even heard before, somebody who's challenging you to open up your mind, to see the world differently, maybe, be open to somebody who's maybe different from what you're used to. Like I say, with going back with the example of like Ciara and Russell Wilson, I feel like, it's my opinion, I feel like when she got with Future, it was that mindset of, oh, I can change him. Yes, he's the bad boy, but he hadn't met nobody like me. I'm Cece, I'm Ciara, I'm the queen of crunk, whatever they call it. Listen, he hasn't met me. I'm going to be the one. We're going to get married, this, that, and the third. And Future was still that same man to her that he was to the 5, 6 other women or baby moms that he had prior to her. It didn't change anything. But the mindset, sometimes our mindset, we can put in our mind that we're different and we can change people. So I feel like, okay, with her trend dating Russell Wilson, her mindset switched and said, you know what, let's try something different. That's where the different came in. She took a chance in trying something different, because when we look at her lineup of men that she's dated, Russell is like way over here, but all the other men are all grouped together as far as with certain, similar like characteristics. Russell is kind of over in a category of his own. But again, that's the same man that people call a simp. So I have the question, what's the difference between a simp and a good guy? Like, what's the difference? Because he's out here moving like, to me, what looks like a good guy, but then you hear the word simp thrown around, or people loosely throwing that around. Y'all, what does it mean? What does it mean? Second question, would you rather have the bad boy or would you rather have the simp? We can, let's do the pros and cons of both. Is the simp over here being loyal to you, not bringing home STDs, bringing home the check to pay the bills, taking little Junior to his practices, little Cece to her little recitals? Is he doing all the things that you need him to do? Maybe, is that simp maybe not the most handsome guy? Maybe he's not the tallest, but those characteristics that I just threw out, is he showing those characteristics that shows for somebody who's here for the long haul, somebody who's not here to be putting me through the ringer? We got to weigh it out to see, which one's most important. And I think that a lot of us women in our earlier years, in particular our 20s, we put more value in that superficial stuff. Like, okay, him having swag, him having the latest J's or the Timbos, him, he a rapper, he an athlete. It's like we focus on the wrong stuff. Oh, he's 6 feet tall. Girl, he's 6'8", he's 6'9". Like, like stuff that don't even make a difference, that had no bearing on the quality of this person, as in the type of man he will be for you, the type of father he'll be for your children. None of that. We looking at the wrong things. But then I start to see women, once they get like 30s, 40s, then they start to kind of pivot and look at those characteristics. Oh, okay. Can he keep a job? Can he be faithful to one woman? Can he talk to me respectfully? Like at that point, those things become of value. And at that point, that's when they're saying, hey, men with these characteristics or qualities don't exist. Do they not exist? Or are they just no longer here for you because of now all that you're now bringing to the table? Because your good years, your youthful years, you chose to just be all over the globe, going to all these concerts, these ball games, looking for the ballers, trying to get into the VIP section at the after party, all of that during your most viable years, because for us ladies, as far as from a physical perspective, our highest, our shelf life, like we're at the height typically of our beauty really in our 20s, the young early 20s. So then as we, you get older, things start to kind of, look a little different. That butt ain't looking the same. The breasts ain't sitting up the same, especially if you have children. Then, we're in an era where a lot of women are going out having surgery. That part. So then you hear a lot of men like, I ain't here for all that. I don't like all that surgery stuff. Now, as I say, sometimes as women, we get it confused. We think just because a man will sleep with you or he will lay with you, we think that would translate to him being willing to one day wife you up and marry you. Listen closely, lady. That has nothing to do with it. Just because a man is willing to sleep with you does not mean he is willing to marry you, bring you around his mama, his family, none of that. You got a lot of women to where they're entertaining men that come through like in the dark after hours. They never took them out on nobody's date. It is what it is. And there are women and they just settle for it. And then they be making TikTok videos, they crying and stuff, talking about men trash because all he want to do is have, Netflix and chill nights with me. That's all he's trying to do with you. But another woman, I bet you best believe that he's doing more than that with her. He's taking her out. He's wining and dining her because he has found value in her. So that's what it comes down to, ladies. We have to show ourselves. We have to demonstrate that we have value in ourselves. And that starts with how we carry ourselves. We got to carry ourselves. What they say, govern yourself accordingly. Like we got to carry ourselves in a way to where when you enter the building, you demand respect. Like you're walking your head high, how you're presenting yourself. You're showing that, okay, Dusty, don't even bother to come over here and talk to me. Like it's just this energy that you need to have about yourself. And ladies who walk with and have a certain type of class or a certain type of energy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the aura. Like a man already knows just before he approaches you, he has an idea of the type of woman that he is about to approach. You think a man can't tell the difference if he's about to try to approach a woman that maybe, got regularly, demonstrate thought behaviors, going up and down, listen, if you choose to have your career as a pole dancer, do you, boo, do you. But I'm going to say the average man, he can tell if that's what you're into. I'm just saying he can tell, he can pick it up. First of all, he's looking at you. And then when he starts speaking with you and he learned that's your profession, like he's not surprised. So I feel like a man can tell the difference early on what type of woman you are and what kind of category he wants to place you in or he plans to place you in. So you have to ask yourself, what kind of category do I want to be placed in? Do I want to be placed in that category to where when a man comes for me, he already know this woman is about her business. I got to come correct. This is a woman that knows her value. She has options and she don't have to settle. Like, because that's the type of woman that I like to believe that I am, to where, listen, you already out the gate know what I'm all about. But that goes back to, like I said, how I move out here in these streets. So let me see. There's another video that I want to share with a woman, and she's like, listen, this is why women like bad boys, y'all. Like this is the real reason why women like bad boys. So let's get into it.
Attracted to the bad boys. Do you know why you're attracted to the bad boys? Don't be act like you know me. You knew I was gonna tell you anyway. Here it goes. The first thing is, it draws out your confidence. You subconsciously live vicariously through him. Number two, the excitement is intoxicating. Those spontaneous moments bring you a pleasure that leads to incredible adventurous sex and adventure inside and outside the bedroom. Number three, you know it makes you feel safe. Tough guys seem to disregard social norms and is ready to escalate any matter in order to protect his territory. It makes you warm inside, doesn't it? Number four, he's a challenge. Most women believe that if they can tame him, then she must be special. Number five, did you know there's science to it? Research shows that the female is drawn to the dominant male as a way to get the best offspring. In a nutshell, it's the hormones. Number six, she thinks that the nice guy is a little bit too easy. She likes the challenge. Number seven, if we're all honest, some women are typically drawn to drama. If they weren't, reality TV would be a bust. Number eight, just to show off. Typically, the bad boy, he's very popular. So being connected to him makes her popular too. Number nine, she thinks that she can handle it. There goes that challenge again. This comes up when she desires to turn the tables on men, simply because maybe she's been dogged out a couple of times. Problem is, men, they do bad better than women in that sense. Lastly, number 10, she has daddy issues, and she's subconsciously recreating her childhood issues in what she thinks is love on her terms. Follow me so that you can see my video on mommy and daddy issues.
Now that sister, I think she made a lot of great points. I think, one thing that stood out to me that when she talked about, a good guy, not, the challenge not being there, and I would always say, I have a strong personality. So it's like, okay, I need someone who's going to be able to stand up to me I always say, listen, you need to be able to give me that look that says, listen, go on somewhere now, like, because I know that I have a strong, energy about myself. So I think when she talked about, the woman, not being challenged or feeling like maybe that good guy isn't strong enough for her, I get that. But at the same time, now that I've gotten older and I know what I know now, praise God, I think that a lot of times as women, we're challenging for no reason. Like, why do we have to bring all that energy? Like, why we got to be doing the absolute most and then look for somebody who's going to come along and have the strength to deal with all that? Like, I think that's a whole nother conversation right there. Like, why can't we just act right? Like, why does it have to be, okay, somebody who can tame me to manage me? Like, it shouldn't be that way. We shouldn't want to demonstrate toxic behavior and then look for a man or somebody to come along to who you feel like can handle that, who can deal with that toxic behavior or match it. Like, that makes no sense at all. It's just the drama for me. And I feel like at a certain point in our lives, we should get beyond that. She also talked about, which I found to be interesting, women, having daddy issues and, getting with that bad boy. I guess that energy, I don't know if it's that dominance energy that she's drawn to, somebody to kind of tell her, what to do, how to do it, how to act, if that's something to where she's drawn to because there was no father figure around someone of, the first male in your life who would have been an authoritative person in your life. So I never thought about that before when it came to women and their decision and men as far as with choosing a bad boy. I thought about it more so in the aspect of women who choose to kind of date men who are like much older than them as far as like that whole father figure, but not on the level of like women choosing bad boys. So I found that one to be interesting. So y'all let me know too, your thoughts on that. She also talked about women naturally being drawn to that energy that a bad boy has. And I'm thinking it's the alpha energy. And it's funny that she said that, because I once heard someone talk about, which it made a lot of sense to me, why women are drawn to bad boys, or drawn to the quote Pookies and Ray Rays. And they talked about it being about the energy that those men often possess. Like, they're very, if you notice, a lot of the Pookies and Ray Rays, they have a lot of alpha energy. You know, they stand up, they have a tone about themselves. It's almost like they demand attention when they step into a room. It's the energy that they have. And so what I've come to learn, and what this sister spoke on, is that it's natural for a woman to want to gravitate to a man who demonstrates alpha energy. And I've seen that play out in lives of just people in my personal life who have, with the different maybe men that they've been in relationships with, where one, woman that I have in mind, she was actually, married to a man who today men would probably call a simp, but he was quote unquote like the good guy. Y'all, sis ran all over that man. Ran all over that man. That man had no sense of dominance, none whatsoever. But when that relationship ended, and then say fast forward, she got in another relationship, and it was a man who demonstrated more of an alpha, a dominant energy. I seen that she wasn't challenging anymore to this man. It was just like, okay, he is almost like I say, he can give you that look, and okay, let me get my shit together. He done already gave me, how do you give your kid that look? Give him that. So I noticed the change in how she moved with being with this new man who kind of was more assertive, who demonstrated more of an alpha energy. And their relationship, she enjoyed, she's still with this person, their relationship was a whole lot better than the relationship he had with the man who she basically was able to just control and run. I've even, and this same person talked about, well, hey, the reason why I enjoyed, why I was for a while chose to be in the relationships where I can be dominant is because from my experience, from my back past, I'd been in a relationship where the man was controlling everything, and I just felt like it just wasn't giving what it's supposed to give. So I changed my mindset and chose to be with these men that would allow for me to kind of be in control. So she tried that, and guess what? She seen it didn't work because it's not the natural way. So she went back to being, with someone who demonstrates more of the alpha personality. And it's one that, that's working out for her. But I think it's working out because that is the natural way. It's not natural for us women to be in a relationship with a man and us running the show. It doesn't work. And eventually I feel like majority of women, it gets old. And next thing you know, it's not even enough for us. Even though he's doing everything that we want him to do for us, we're like, you know what, this isn't enough. He's not, it's not, they might hit you with it. He's not challenging enough. But a woman is looking for that masculine, that dominant, natural energy. And eventually it's going to get old to where we're going to be like, you know what, this not working. It ain't giving what it's supposed to give. Like, I just can't, I don't even want to be sexual. I don't want to do anything with you. I'm no longer attracted to you. It's energy, guys. It's energy. So I just think that a lot of with the Pookies and Ray Rays, it's that energy that they bring. It's the energy. So with that being said, let me go ahead and show this other video where this man, he's talking about, the whys, and, fellas, how, there's some things that maybe you can do differently to garner the type of attention that you want from women. So let's get into this. Thank you guys for joining. Please like, share, subscribe as you come in. I appreciate you. So let's get into it.
I get this question a lot. And today we're going to do some myth busting. Guys, listen, pay attention. It's not that most women like bad boys. It's just that most women don't care if a guy is a bad boy or not. They just don't care. Women like certain things. They are attracted to certain qualities. And if a guy has those qualities, then she's going to be attracted to him. Now, are there a handful of women out there who prefer criminals? Yes. But they are not the majority. And you don't want those type of women anyway. Personal trainers and truck drivers are not bad boys, and they get more cat than anybody. College athletes, the frat boys, musicians, social media influencers. All these guys are not bad boys, but they get women. Stop all of the hater talk. Stop all of the excuses. Put the work into yourself. Make yourself attractive. Put yourself in the game and go talk to women. Problem solved. If you need help with building confidence and making yourself more attractive, then go click the link in my bio. You know, I get this question a lot, and today we're gonna do some myth busting. Guys, listen, pay attention. It's not that most women like bad boys. It's just that most women don't care if a guy is a bad boy or not. They just don't care. Women like certain things. They are attracted to certain qualities, and if a guy has those qualities, then she's going to be attracted to him. Now, are there a handful of women out there who prefer criminals? Yes, but they are not the majority, and you don't want those type of women anyway. Personal trainers and truck drivers are not bad boys, and they get more cat than anybody. College athletes, the frat boys, musicians, social media influencers. All these guys are not bad boys, but they get women. Stop all of the hater talk. Stop all of the excuses. Put the work into yourself. Make yourself attractive. Put yourself in the game and go talk to women. Problem solved. If you need help with building confidence and making yourself.
So, as I said, again, it's about that energy that energy that a man has. It's not necessarily the things that they're, I guess, engaging into, as he talked about, as far as, you know, them breaking the laws or them necessarily being an athlete or their job profession. It's just the energy. Women are naturally gravitated to just that leadership type energy, which some we may call that alpha energy. I did drop the link in the chat. If you do want to come up and just give your thoughts on today's topic about, you know, bad boys, I'd love to hear it, get the conversation going. But it's something to where I think it's a good conversation to have, because we're seeing a lot of our women, we're choosing poorly, you know, in large numbers. And I feel like those leadership qualities that maybe we may feel like we're seeing in a Pookie and Ray Ray, those qualities can be saw, you know, we can't see them in someone who's holding down a legitimate job, an actual job, somebody who's been a productive citizen in the world. Like, I feel like you can still get, you know, find a man who has those great characteristics, but still, you know, has this assertiveness about himself, these leadership qualities about himself, the alpha energy that you may look to see. Like, I don't feel like it has to go necessarily with somebody who's not living their life on the right track. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's just the energy that we're looking for. And a lot of this just has to do with what is it, ladies, that we are saying we're attracted to. Maybe we need to kind of pivot and reevaluate some of those things. And like I said, step out the box and try something new. You know, try to date somebody who's, you know, if you're used to dating athletes, to be like, okay, let's try something else. Let me maybe try to date somebody who's maybe a business owner or who works in corporate, or, you know, the gentleman says somebody who's a truck driver. You know, be open to dating somebody that's coming from something different, you know, than you or what you've maybe experienced before. I think change can be good. And I think when it's the change for the better, we typically see it play out differently, you know, in our lives, where we're like, okay, this was good. You know, you just got to think smart about it. Like I say, it's not rocket science. It's not hard. It's just being intentional about the things that we do, putting thought into the things that we do, asking ourselves, okay, why am I entertaining him? Like, I always tell ladies, hey, if you can't just think about it in your mind, get a pen and paper, write down, do a pros and cons. What are the pros of this relationship? What are the cons? If the pros ain't looking right, then, you know, you do what you got to do, but you got to do whatever it takes to figure out whether or not you're in something that's worth your time. You're in something that's worth your time, because best believe these men out here, they are definitely critical of us, and they're looking to see if they see us as being worth their time. And the way they're showing if you not being worth their time is them laying up with you and not being that man of substance for you, and dang sure not offering you their hand in marriage. Like they ain't trying to say, hey, listen, no ring ain't even coming, so you might as well hang that up. You done been with a man and y'all already been kicking it 2+ years and he still ain't talking. No, like it is what it is. You know, I've heard men say they know, like in 6 months, they know if you are the missus, like they know. So if you've been with this man and it's been past that and you guys haven't had that serious conversation about the when and he ain't popped the question, maybe sis, you got to evaluate, like, is this it? And think about the why. And maybe that why could be something dealing with you and some things that you're giving that he's not here for. But though he's here for it momentarily or just for a section, you know, just for the physical. But if that's not what you want, or you're wanting more than that, then you got to go within and ask yourself, okay, am I somebody worthy of this? Let me look at, what am I giving? How am I presenting myself? You know, how am I carrying myself? When I leave my house and go out to the world, am I walking? Am I demonstrating somebody who's worthy of like self-respect? Like all of that. You have to be honest with yourself, because until you're honest with yourself, you're not going to get the results that you want. And I think a lot of us don't want to be honest with ourselves because it hurts. You know, who wants to really think like, wow, I do be demonstrating some trash behavior? Like, who wants to think about that about themselves? But sometimes like that's what you got to do. You got to think like, wow, okay. I always say, you know, ask yourself, would I date me? You know, that's a real question. Ask yourself, like, would I date me? Would I put up with me? Like, if your answer is no, then there you go. Like, how would somebody else supposed to be coming along, you know, putting up with you? And you can actually say that you wouldn't even put up with you. You know, you do the most. Ask yourself, do I do the most? Yeah, I do it. Like, if your answer is yes, you got to really think about that and think like, wow, maybe that's why, you know, I'm not getting the response from the men that I want, because, you know, I'm on some other stuff. I'm on some other stuff. Or maybe pay attention to, say, women who you do see that are maybe in, you know, if you do desire to be married, pay attention to how you're seeing those married women moving. Are they moving? Because like I say, you know, we live in a culture today where, you know, everybody trying to get these surgeries done. You know, they got the lashes, the long lashes. I call them wings, y'all. The lace fronts, the long nails. Then they going, you know, they getting flued out, they getting the butt done, getting the whole BBL. But what I'll say is that when I walk around in my community, I don't see women who look like that with wedding rings on. Like, I'm just saying, I don't. The women who I see with a wedding ring on, they look like regular, your average, everyday woman, like what I would deem myself to be. Like, they're just living life. They're not made up. They're not looking like the Instagram model. They're not looking nothing like that. So it has me to wonder, you know, I asked the question, well, what's the reason? Why are these women going out and doing all of these things? What is the end result? What is the end game? Like, what is it? Is it just to get a lot of likes on social media? You know, what, to get flued out to Dubai? Y'all know, y'all hear what they say, go down Dubai. Like, what is your end game? Because if your end game is to get wiped up as a result of all of that, then, man, sis, you got the wrong blueprint. Like, that don't lead to that. You know, I have yet to see where that's happening, but I feel like people, that is their end goal. And it's just like, you're going about it the wrong way, which is what motivates me to come out here on my channel that I've recently renamed Chic Speaks, is because I want to talk about some of these things that apparently isn't obvious things to a lot of young women when it comes to relationships and how to move and and presenting the best version of yourself. You know, the things that to me that I felt like kind of came just naturally and was just learning over time. I'm not seeing that that's kind of taking place maybe with a lot of women, or if it is, it's way late in the game. And like I said, at that point, they got all this kind of baggage. And then a lot of, the men that they want is not really here for signing up for all of that. Rightfully so. I mean, can you blame them? Listen, I mean, like I said, I'm a mother of sons and a daughter. So I wouldn't want my sons who are on the up and up doing what they're supposed to do to suddenly take on this baggage of somebody who didn't do what they were supposed to do. And now they coming to the table with 3 kids, 2 baby daddies, and they're wanting my son to just take over and be the best man. Like, listen, No, it's not like that. Like, I understand that things happen and relationships don't always work out, but we still can't ignore how we still can't ignore someone's past. That's what I'm saying. We can't ignore it. We still got to stop and explore to see, okay, how did this person get here and how are they moving in the present day? And are they still moving in a way that makes sense for them to be in the situation they're in? Like, that's what I'm saying. Some people change and start moving differently, but then a lot of people don't. They just move on to the next person. Or as these men call the simp. Oh, okay, I'm gonna find me a simp, find me somebody that's gonna take on and take over all of this, and he gonna like it. And all I'm bringing, I'm the table. So that's when you ask me what I'm bringing, I'm the table. That's the thing I'm hearing ladies say, I'm the table. And these men are like, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. I'm not signing up for that. Good luck with that. And I don't see that women are having the best of luck with that while having that mindset. Like, is not getting them anywhere. They're definitely not getting what they're wanting. They're just out here speaking about how what they're wanting, it doesn't exist. And it's like, well, it's not that it doesn't exist. It's just that these men are not wanting to be with you, because as I say, in a relationship, it takes two, the right and the left have to want to kind of come together. So if it's one-sided, then there you go. And I think I'm seeing that it's a lot of one-sidedness where the women are wanting more than a Netflix and chill. And that man is good with just the Netflix and chill. And best believe he has his reasons. Stop and ask him his reason. I think a lot of women too, I find, don't like to engage in conversation with men to ask those real questions because they're afraid of the answer. So they figure, okay, well, let me not ask because I don't want to scare them off and run them away and all of that. I do not advocate for anyone, especially a woman, to assume anything when it comes to a man, especially in relationship. Do not assume. You ask. Because there are so many times I've heard women in their mind, look, they was in a whole relationship with David, and David like, we ain't together. I didn't tell you that, but you've been coming over at my. But I didn't tell you we was together. That's what I'm saying. Like, we can't be going off of assumption. We got to outright ask, listen, what are we doing here? Are we together? Are we exclusive? Like, you have to ask those questions and be ready for the answer. And if the answer isn't what you want, then accept it and move on. Period. Because at this point, when you get the answer and you choose to still stay, that's on you. That's not on them. That's on you. This person has already told you like what the deal is. Like, y'all, I was just listening to I had Blueface, the rapper Blueface, and he has this, he's in this whole toxic relationship with this young woman named Krishan. And he recorded himself, I guess he was live and he was getting into arguing with her about his baby mom, because I guess, it came out that he was still smashing his baby mom. And he was like, yo, I thought you knew this already. Like, why are you up here acting and bending your feelings when you already knew what the deal was? Like, that's how these men be. Like, what the deal is. So just because it's Wednesday, you want to be in your feelings, but on Sunday, you already knew what the deal was. That part, we got to move. We got to be consistent. We got to have standards. We can't have standards only on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then everything go out the windows on the weekends. Like, we have to move with standards and have standards Sunday through Saturday, every day, not someday, every day. And so that man straight told that woman, like, what you mad about? Like, yeah, you like, I thought you knew this already. Like, he was like confused, like, okay, like, why? And meanwhile, this young girl, Krishan, got all these tats. Her whole body, she got his face all over her whole body. You see more of his face on her body than her body. But she's just now coming out, last week saying, oh, we're officially together. Huh? Like, make it make sense. Like, it got to make sense, ladies. And this is where that accountability part come in there. We can't be doing all that. And then in the next breath, we crying, boo-hooing on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, talking about ain't no good men out here. Men are trash. That's where the crickets come in there at, because sis, like, you done documented your whole toxic relationship and situation on social media, because that's what they do. Like, we didn't see all that. And now you come and saying this, like, ma'am, Do you know you just documented the last 3, 4, 5 years of your life with this person? And then like, come on now. Like, but that is what's going on. It's the delusion for me. That's what I say. It's the delusion for me. I think a lot of our women are delusional, but you don't have to stay delusional. Many of us have been guilty of being delusional at some point in our life, but we don't have to live in it. It's about growth. And that's what I would like to see more of our women do. And at an earlier age is grow from just wanting to be involved in just toxic type stuff. Like, why do we have to spend all of our 20s entertaining toxicity? Like, why? It's like, who made that a rule to where you got to be young and dumb? Like in your 20s, you got to just be doing the absolute most. And then once you get 30, then you start moving like you damn got some sense. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. But I feel like it's like some book out there. I don't know if it's on Amazon. Somebody send me the link or what that says, okay, in your 20s, you do stupid shit. You do the absolute most. And then in your 30s, then that's when you move with substance. And then you just sit and wait for Mr. Right to come along and swoop you up off your feet and be a Prince Charming. Like, I don't know. I haven't found that book yet. I don't know what that book is, but I need somebody to send me the link because I'm feeling like it's out there somewhere since so many people are doing that. Like, where the hell are they? They're getting it from somewhere. It's somewhere. Somebody got a bestseller out there because this is exactly what I'm seeing. And it's just like a vicious cycle. Like, what? Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? It's just like a vicious cycle. And I think it's more people who are more so the voices of people who are here for the toxic behavior, to me, are more loud, or they're louder than the voices for someone, say like myself, who's like opposed to the toxic behavior. You know, somebody like myself who's opposed to the toxic behavior, you know, they get ridiculed. They're this, they're that, they're called all kinds of names. But it seemed like the ones who are here for the toxic behavior, they're praised. You know, they get all the love in the world. But what is it getting us? What is it getting us? Like, it's really not getting us anywhere. We have to do better if we're wanting better for our community as a whole. Like, we got to do better. We got children that are still being raised that are coming up. And where do you think these kids, the next generation, learn the behavior from? It's in their homes. It's on their phones, social media. Like, it's everywhere. There's so much toxicity out there. It's in all of the music. Then you have they mess around, came out reality TV. So you got it on TV. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. So more and more, I'm starting to see more women who are speaking out, in particular on like, you know, YouTube, who are talking about, hey, ladies, we don't have to move this way. Like, we can be classy. You know, we can be nice. We don't have to always come at someone with aggression or respond with aggression. Like we don't have to do that way. And we all, you know, we may have our reasons as to why, you know, we respond a certain way or have a certain energy. But at the end of the day, we have to be real with ourselves and ask ourselves, are we getting the response or the results that we want as a result of how we're coming off? Because if your answer is no, then guess what? That means you need to adjust, you know, and do something different to yield a different result. You know, because we can't continue to keep doing the same thing, but looking for a different result. And I feel like a lot of our young girls, you know, they're oblivious to time, and they think that their beauty, their youth, they're going to have that forever. So as they're, you know, moving in these streets in their 20s, they're not cognizant of the time. They're thinking, okay, well, you know, I'm attractive. These men are sliding in my DM. I'm getting flued out. You know, I'm young. I got all the time in the world. And just in a blink of an eye, they wake up and it's like they're 30. And it's like, okay, wow. Okay, well, you know, I haven't had anybody just yet to ask my hand in marriage, but, you know, I'm still cute. You know, I still get a lot of likes on Instagram. Okay. And then next thing you know, they're 35. Okay, wow. It still hasn't happened yet. Like, you know, and next thing you know, it's like they're 40 and they're one of many who are like, okay, man, it ain't no good men out here. Or I want kids and I don't have anybody to have kids. So like, who was that? Y'all seen that with the Olympic run form? what Lolo, y'all know Lolo, that Olympic runner. She was crying recently on her socials. I think I saw it on her Instagram, a video. Lolo Jones, I think that's her name. And y'all, she going through the process with trying to freeze her eggs now, and she a whole virgin out here. So imagine she the virgin and going through it with the ones who ain't a virgin. If the virgin going through it, y'all, then imagine with the ones who ain't a virgin going through it. Like, it's hard out here. That's why, and I think, Lolo was one of those people who in her 20s, in her younger years, she prioritized her career. Okay, that was a decision she made. She prioritized, her career, being the best at whatever it is that she was working towards. She started out in track. Then I think she ended up going over to like bobsledding or something like that. But, she's been to the Olympics a few times. So I think, she's someone that's an example, a career woman who prioritized her career over, family. That was a decision she made. And now that she's 40, I think she's 40 or 41 now, it's just like, okay, wow. I do want to get married and have a kid. And it's not happening for her like she thought it would. I think like a lot of women think that as soon as they say, okay, I'm ready, then it's just going to suddenly, there's going to be somebody there and it's just going to work out like that. And I think that they think that way is because in their younger years, men or young guys approached them so easily and, made it be known how much they like. It was just so easy to where they're thinking like, okay, this is going to be how men are going to respond to me forever. This is just how men respond to me. But these women later come to see that it starts to slow down your popularity, like it slow down. Or say if the men are coming at you, they're only coming at you for specific reasons. They're not coming at you for maybe the reasons that you'd like for them to, because they find value in you, that they want to marry you. They want to start a family with you. They're not coming at you for all that. They're like, no, sis, I ain't here for that. I'm here for this. You thought I flew you out for that? No, you got flew out for this. Okay, you don't want to do that? All right, let's go ahead and take you back to the airport because this was the only reason why I flew you out. I mean, I need you to understand that. And I think that's a hard pill, a hard reality for women, because it's just like, what? Like, that's all you wanted? But here's my thing is that I feel like if these women spend enough time talking with these men and not being focused on maybe those superficial things, then you can kind of pick up from the way they're talking if whether or not there's an actual genuine interest in you. Like, let's think about how the conversation is going. Is this person showing any interest in what it is that you do as far as your employment, your career, your interests? Have they asked you any questions about family, places you'd like to travel, or have all the conversation been strictly about, oh, you're so beautiful, or I can't wait to see you? Has it all just been kind of more of a surface level type? To me, I just feel like if we're real with ourselves, just like a man can tell early on if a woman is of substance, I feel like us women, we have the ability to do the same. I do. And it just starts with us listening to what's being said, paying attention to the actions to see if their actions line up with what they're saying, all of that. Like, you'll get your answer. I don't think that it takes for you to become pregnant by someone and then learn that this person isn't quality. Like, what were you guys talking about prior to? Were y'all even talking? Like, that boggles me. A woman will be quick to say, yeah, I'm pregnant by him, but nah, I'm not marrying him. I mean, and there's so many women, they're like, yeah, I have a baby with him, but I ain't marrying him. Like, what the hell? Like, to me, it makes no sense, but that's the thought process of a lot of women. Like, they're like, I'm not trying to marry. Like, the struggle, y'all, the struggle. It's a struggle out here, but that's what motivates me to come on here and speak to y'all, listen. I want to know what y'all got to say about this. I got one more video I want to show. It's a young guy talking about, why girls like bad guys. Let's hear what he got to say. Because listen, these men got opinions. Women got opinions too, but these men got opinions as well. And I think us women, we need to do more listening to what it is these men are saying, because I think when we really stop and listen, we can really learn what it is that they want and then move accordingly.
You a so-called nice guy, and you wondering like, why do girls like the bad guys or the bad boys? Like, hey, just listen to this video. Coming in at number one, bro. Just because you nice don't mean you automatically get played. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't work like that. 9 times out of 10, the so-called bad dudes, they got a very outgoing personality, and they showing her something that she ain't never had. You know what I'm saying? Some ladies want to be put in check. You know what I'm saying? I know that sounds crazy. Some ladies want a man to tell them, like, if y'all arguing, you know what I'm saying, and she tell you shut up, and you be like, sit down, we finna go out to eat, get dressed, and get cute, and I don't care whatever you got going on. Some of them like that. Compared to another person, if you're a so-called nice guy, softy, she might tell you shut up, and you might just shut up. Like, bro, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna work. So you gotta know what you bring to the table in order to work with somebody. You can't try to convince her to like you if you're not an assertive person. It's just not gonna work. She want a man that's gonna, do what he needs to do. All right, if you're a so-called nice guy and you wondering like, why do girls like the bad guys or the bad boys? Like, hey, just listen to the video. Coming in at number one, bro. Just because you're nice don't mean you automatically get played. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't work like that. 9 times out of 10, the so-called bad dudes, they got a very outgoing personality, and they showing her something that she ain't never had. You know what I'm saying? Some ladies want to be put in check. You know what I'm saying? I know that sounds crazy. Some ladies want a man to tell them, like, if y'all arguing, you know what I'm saying, and she tell you shut up, and you be like, sit down, we finna go out to eat, get dressed, and get cute, and I don't care whatever you got going on. Some of them like that. Compared to another person, if you're a so-called nice guy, softy, she might tell you shut up, and you might just shut up. Like, bro, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna work. So you gotta know what you bring to the table in order to work with somebody. You can't try to convince her to like you if you're not an assertive person. It's just not gonna work. She want a man that's gonna, do what he need to do.
Listen, I agree with him, because as I said, I felt like, when I talk about my personality, I have to be with someone who's assertive, who's like, listen, woman. So I used to say when I first got my husband, like, yeah, I knew he was the one. Listen, Mr. Taylor look at me one way, and I know, okay, let me go ahead and he give me that side look. But I knew, it was a lot. Listen, I come from a family of women, so y'all know we got all that mouth and stuff. So, I knew what it is, and that just not any man was going to work for me when I was just at the height of just popping off, with my mouth. And I'm more tamed now, because like I said, I just feel like, women, we do the absolute most, and we have to be more conscious of our behavior, but it takes time. I'm still a work in progress. I'm sure my husband will have a lot to say about that. Like, I'm still a work in progress, but I do feel like us ladies, we can do better and not come off as, everything don't have to be a challenge like that, but at the same time, we do yearn for an assertive man, just as this young man said. Like, you got to be assertive. Like, you can't, as a man, you can't have your woman think she can just tell you to shut the hell up, and you just shut the hell up. Like, like, I can't even imagine, saying something like that to my husband and he not do one of them slow motion turns, be like, what you say? Like, I can't even imagine, just like I can't even imagine him saying that to me. It's just a level of respect that we have for one another. We both know our limits when it comes to one another. So I don't disrespect him. He doesn't disrespect me. We respect each other. That's what makes us work. And I think that's just the key in any relationship. It's just the respect, because if the woman is with her man and she doesn't feel like she respects him, if he doesn't have her respect, it ain't gonna work. That's when she gonna be talking to him crazy, out here doing the absolute most, because she gonna know it's gonna be like, what you gonna do? You ain't going nowhere. How many people, have experienced being with somebody or seen that where that other person had that kind of energy, like, go shop it. Like, they dismiss it because they know from experience, like, you just all mouth, you say whatever, but you ain't going nowhere. And that's the thing, people go off of our actions. So if they see us talking a certain way, but though we're moving completely different, they're going to more so go off of how we move. And that's man or woman. So we got to keep that in mind. So if we're wanting respect from these men out here, we got to carry ourselves with respect out the gate. We got to demand respect. And the minute that the disrespect starts to take place, we got to be about. We got to be about, because I tell you, sis, it's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. It's levels to it. It's just going to get heightened. He first start cussing you out. Next thing you know, get physical, and you got a whole situation on your hands. So the signs are there. It's just up to us if we choose to acknowledge those signs, and not dismiss them. Because I think a lot of times we dismiss them because we don't want to do something different, because we're familiar, we're used to the dysfunction, or we don't want to be alone, or people said it wasn't going to work and you don't want to prove them right. So you're just kind of trying to stay in it to, prove those people wrong when they said it wasn't going to work. Like, y'all know all the reasons why people choose to stay in toxic type situations, but you got to look beyond that. It can't be about what somebody else thinks. You got to think about what's best for you. And if you have children, what's best for your children. And if you're in a bad situation, get out, man or woman, get out. Nobody ain't got time for that. Nobody deserves to be mistreated. If you're a good guy, be a good guy. Don't be trying to turn it to be something that you're not just for the sake of trying to get the ladies. As this gentleman said, it's about being assertive. So it's not really you going out there doing bad behavior, being disrespectful to women. No, it's you being assertive, demanding a certain level of respect. What they say it with your chest, say it with your chest, look a person's, in the eye, be true to your word. Be 10 toes down, don't talk about it, be about it, be consistent, like all of those things. That's what women like. If you can demonstrate those things, you're good. That's what it comes down to. Identify someone, say, that you see that's moving in a way that you're like, okay, they're getting results, and then they're getting positive results. Like, talk to somebody. Say, man, I'm having these experiences. If you're a guy, talk to a guy. Hey, I'm having these experiences. What would you recommend? Ladies, if you having, shitty, bad experiences with getting a good quality man, talk to a woman or somebody you see who seems to do well with finding or getting quality men, and talk to them about, okay, well, what is it? Give me feedback. It's like about having like a coach, we can call it an accountability coach. Whatever you need to do, you need to do it. Because the moral of the story is that we're going to continue to get the same result if we're giving out that same energy. And I'm out here trying to encourage people to try to do something different who are currently having bad results right now, who aren't getting the results they want. I challenge you to step out of the box and do something different. Whatever that may be, you know what it is for you, but do something different. Entertain a different type of person. Do something different with yourself. Maybe change it up with your look, your hair. Do something different if you're not getting the results you want. What do you have to lose? Like really think about it. Like, what do you have to lose? You don't have anything to lose at this point. So that's what I have to say on this topic. I definitely love to know what you all have to say about this topic. Definitely drop a comment. I like to read the comments, but women, are you here for the bad boys? Are you like, y'all, no, sis, that's just a phase. We are grown women out here. We need men. We need assertive men. Men, what do you think? You think these women, they just don't know what they want. They want the bad boy, but they're saying, okay, they don't, when that bad boy isn't giving them what they want. Like, which is it? Are men out here just confused by us? Like, I feel like these men are out here royally confused by us. They're like, okay, you're saying this, but you're doing, I can get it, because as a woman, y'all know we can be on some other stuff where we can be saying one thing and then with our actions showing something completely different. And I'm real about that as a woman. And I feel like, a lot of women do that. So I can understand how a man could be like confused, like, okay. I saw this TikTok too, I think with Chloe Bailey and Halle Bailey with their brother. Have you guys seen that, when they were talking about good guys and wanting, the type of men they wanted? And the little brother was like, that's not true. And he was like, you guys, I wonder if I can find that. I saw it on YouTube one day. He's like, that's not true. You guys say that, but you want the bad boy. And they just cracked up kind of laughing, and he was like their younger brother at a young age. He looks like he was probably maybe like 14, 15, a teenager, but he knew enough to know that y'all women, that's cap. Y'all say you want one thing, but that's not really what you want. Like, because you pass those type of guys up all the time. You say you want one that's going to be faithful and treat you nice, this and that. But those are the ones you look over. The ones that you end up entertaining are the ones that break your heart. And then you out here crying tattooed tears, talking about ain't no good men out here. They all trash. I just want somebody who's going to love and appreciate me. And it's just like, so y'all, it was hilarious. But I love to know kind of your thoughts on this topic. I'm gonna be hitting y'all with some other things, the topics pertaining to relationships. It's so much out there with, men and women having things to say about the state of just, love, Black, relationships and just people just aren't happy with, the quality of, the relationships within the Black community. And I can see why. So the question is, what's the problem? What is the problem? Like, how can we fix this? Are we willing to do the work to fix it? Are you willing to do the work? Are we willing to do that interpersonal work to fix it? Because it starts with us. So each individual, it starts with us, you, to do that work within before you try to go out to try to link up with somebody and expect for just magic to happen. When you all broken up inside and you going out there expecting for magic to happen. Like, okay, I mean, you can expect all you want, but the reality of it is if you're a broken person and you haven't healed, then it's a chance that you're going to link up with another broken person. Because as they say, like people, it's almost like a magnet. What they say, you are what you attract. Like, I believe that. Like when I hear women talk about only these type of men keep approaching me. And my mind always goes to, okay, well, there's a reason why you're attracting those type of men. Like, have you ever stopped to think about that? Have you ever stopped to think about, okay, well, maybe I need to start, meeting in at a different place instead of just only at the club. Like listen, like if you're seeing a common theme on the type of men that are approaching you, like you have to stop and look and see what it is that you're doing, because I guarantee you, if you do that, you're going to see something that's a common denominator as in what you're doing, or you're going to see common characteristics within these people. And you're the common denominator. So it's going to start with you to say, okay, well, damn, why do I keep attracting these men that lie or these men that don't keep a job? What is it about me? What am I giving off that has for a man to say, hey, that's the one. She's the one that's going to be my savior. What is it about me that's giving off savior energy? I don't see nobody else. My sister don't run into nobody like that. My best friend don't run into nobody like that. Why am I the only one to get like, really? And that answer may hurt. It may hurt, but you have to ask yourself that and be real and accepting of the answer and fix it. Like being in denial about it is doing no one a disservice but yourself. I mean, it ain't doing me no disservice. Hell, it ain't doing old boy no disservice, because hell, he benefiting off of you. You're the one who's getting a disservice. So you need to ask yourself, what is it about me that's attracting this caliber of man, versus you having a mindset of saying all men are like this, so therefore I'm just going to choose not to entertain them. No, that's not true. You just don't want to put in the work. You just don't want to acknowledge your role. You just don't want to acknowledge that you're not perfect. You just don't want to acknowledge that you're not somebody that's easy to be in a relationship with. There's a lot of women out here who I can say that are not easy. Like it's hard to even have a friendship with some of these women, or even family relationships with some of these women. So I know that being in a romantic relationship, I know these men are like, oh, hell no. Especially if you got some options too. Who's gonna sign up for that? Ain't nobody trying to sign up for that, especially when you got options. That's the beautiful thing about knowing when you got options. You know when you don't got to deal with stuff. You're gonna quickly get out of something that's not working for you, because I ain't got to deal with this. I am not going to deal with this. So that again, that starts within, because you have options. You are a quality person. You do not have to settle for nonsense. man or woman, you don't have to settle for nonsense. I don't care how fine, how bad he or she, like, you don't have to settle for nonsense. That's on you. That is on you if you choose to settle for nonsense. You can't go around blaming the world. And that's what's going on. It's just a lot of blame getting passed around. Men blaming the women, women blaming the men. And it's not enough self-worth taking place. Listen, Chic speaks. That's what, listen, it's not enough self-work taking place. We got to do the work. We got to do the work. And it's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be overnight because it didn't take overnight for us to get here. Many of us, it's been years of just trauma that have us to be broken today. But we can indeed do the work. And more than likely, if you do the work and you start moving differently, people are going to take notice of that. And you're going to notice it's a different type of energy that's gravitating to you. You'll see, maybe different men approaching you, or men, different women approaching you. Like you gotta adjust. And it starts from within. So that's all I got for y'all today on Chic Speaks. Definitely drop a comment. Let me know what you think, about this. Why girls love bad boys. It's been the conversation for eons, for years. I think it's going to be one that's going to always be here because, us ladies, we going to love that bad boy energy. But the question is, what is bad boy energy? So thank you again for joining. Please like, share, subscribe. The channel is growing. I definitely appreciate you all. And this is Chic from Chic Speaks. And I will catch you on the next broadcast. Peace.